I've been speaking to some content creator friends and non-content creator friends really concerning MMORPGs recently. Braxophone, who started with MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV and then moved into Gacha games. Brian Online, who has probably as extensive an MMORPG history as I have. He also moved from MMOs into the Gacha scene. And then Josh Drive Hayes. Every single creator person that I've talked to is struggling to find any real semblance of enjoyment in the genre. Not because the games are bad, just because the games are the same games. Every new MMO that has tried has failed. Throne and Liberty, Lost Ark, Blue Protocol. The Riot MMO was delayed, potentially a decade. Arc Age 2 was delayed. Ashes of Creation ain't looking too hot. Ghost Crawlers MMO was canceled. Final Fantasy XIV is pretty much at an all-time low. I personally moved from MMOs over to Gacha, not because I'm not having fun at MMOs. I still return to World of Warcraft every single year, but mainly because I just wanted something new. I just wanted something fun. I just wanted something different. And after talking to everyone, talking to dozens of different people, the question that arose was, did Gacha games kill the MMORPG? And the conclusion we came up with was, no. Gacha games did not kill MMORPGs. Gacha games stole their audience. They outcompeted them financially, and then they forced the genre into a predatory arms race that many couldn't win. The MMORPG genre was at its peak back in the 2000s and 2010s, with tens of millions of active players, active subscribers to games like WoW. But by 2025, populations have stabilized with regards to WoW, or in the case of every other game, declined. New games like Throne and Liberty, Blue Protocol, Terrasland, Odin Valhalla Rising, Grand Saga, and even more recently than that, Ion 2 have all flopped due to being pay to win, due to being grindy, due to having empty worlds. None of these failed because they were or had Gacha in them. Gacha, however, exploded roughly towards the latter half of the 2010s. Back when Fate Grand Order grew in popularity, back when Genshin Impact launched back in 2020, which we all thought at the time was going to be an MMO, much like Blue Protocol. Gacha games cumulatively rank in billions of dollars per month, some of which make hundreds of millions of dollars, like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, Nikke, Love and Deep Space. You compare that to MMOs making tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in the rare case, like World of Warcraft, tens of millions. The top 10 grossing Gacha games right now all make multiple times more than World of Warcraft makes per month. WoW is exponentially less popular than dozens of different mobile and cross-play Gacha games, and the population is dozens of times smaller. Not only that, in traditional MMOs, you'd spend hours and hours playing. You'd queue up, you'd run dungeons, you'd run raids, you do open world content. In Gacha games, you log in for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, you run through your dailies, and then you log off. And you log into another Gacha game. You have multiple different Gacha games that fill multiple different needs and satiate multiple different desires that you have. That's not the case with MMOs. In an MMO, you'd play something like WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, you'd play all day. In Gacha games, I log into Nikke, I log into Arknights, I log into Wuthering Waves, each game for 10 to 20 minutes. I run through everything I need to do, and then I log out. For major patches, this occurs once every 6 weeks. I log in, spend several hours burning through it all, thoroughly enjoying myself, and then just going back to logging in for 10, 20, 30 minutes a day. MMOs traditionally get a patch every, 3, 6, 12 months. These are relatively basic comparatively. Gacha games have new events and new characters every couple weeks, and they have major patches every 4 to 6 weeks. There's no burnout. There's a constant reason to log back into the game and play. Not just that, but mobile MMOs specifically are pretty trash, let's be real, whereas Gacha games like Wuthering Waves, like Genshin, are significantly higher quality. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. This isn't just specific to gacha games though. Multiplayer survival games like Rust, Ark Survival Evolved, Valheim, Palworld have all siphoned players from traditional MMORPGs by delivering the sandbox freedom, the emergent PvP and social interactions, and often base building or crafting loops that WoW and Final Fantasy XIV clones lack, without the need for queues, without the need for gear grinding, gear treadmills, or pay to win. Much like gacha games, they also exploded as the MMORPG began to stagnate in the latter half of the 2010s. Players crave player-driven worlds. They don't want to be handheld. They don't want quest markers. They just want to jump into a game with friends, play it multiplayer with 10 people, 50 people, 100 people to have that massive feel, but in a condensed form. Gacha gamers want the RPG element. They want to log in and have a purpose to log in every single day. Both multiplayer survival games and gacha games seem to cater to the different needs that MMO players have and have dominated in one way or another. You look at multiplayer survival games that have sold millions or tens of millions of copies. You look at gacha games that continue to make tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars a month. Then you look at MMOs, which are all failing, struggling to maintain a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand active players. Gacha games and multiplayer survival games have siphoned everyone from the MMORPG genre because the MMO genre refuses to innovate. They're living in the past where they think players want games from decades ago, when the target demographic, the player base of today, wants something exponentially different. Something that a lot of MMORPG developers just don't seem to realize. And that is why multiplayer survival games and gacha games are doing as good as they are, while the MMORPG genre continues to stagnate. Is it dead? No, but it is severely wounded, and I don't see that wound healing anytime soon. I still look forward to playing Arc Age 2, don't have the highest expectations for it. I'm going to play Ashes of Creation, don't have the highest expectations for that. Every MMO that comes out, I'm going to play, I'm going to try to enjoy, but I know they have a very finite life because they're likely going to be pay to win, they're likely going to be predatory, or they're going to have no content to retain player attention and motivate players to log in regularly, which is something that WoW and Final Fantasy XIV and Guild Wars 2 actually know how to do. And that's because they've existed for as long as they have, and they have content pools for players to actually delve into and pull from. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.